Hey, what's up, everyone? Nick Underhill for NewOrleans.Football, and you're watching The Dot, presented by Matt Bowers Auto Group. I'm here with Mike Triplett, and it is time for the weekly mailbag. Our first question this week is, what is the impact of getting Erik McCoy back on the field?
Well, it can't be understated. I mean, he's not the only reason why they've basically had 4 of their 5 worst rushing games over the last 5 weeks of the entire season, but he's a big part of the reason why. Some of those games they were missing 3 offensive linemen. Some of them they were going up against really tough defenses like Baltimore, San Francisco, and Tampa Bay. But he's a big part of it too. And look, they signed him to a contract extension earlier this year, one of the personnel moves they got right this year.
I think he is actually that significant to the running game. Their power running numbers on those plays, they've almost dropped about 3 yards per carry. When he was out there, they were at like 6 point something per carry on those power plays, and that's evaporated. I think he is a significant difference maker in that aspect of the game. I think getting him back on the field cleans a lot of stuff up. It helps you just with your protections and everything else. I think he is a significant difference maker for this team, and he is one of the young building blocks. So losing him should have a significant impact, and the fact that it has validates their decision to give him that contract. Next question. Team's kind of in a dire situation right now. What is there to look forward to over the next 4 weeks?
Really? Well, I did 2,000 words on this earlier this week because I think everything deserves a deep dive. But, I mean, the highlights we're talking about it all the time, Dennis Allen's job security. Are they going to give Jameis Winston a chance to win this job back? Can they unlock Alvin Kamara and throw in Pete Carmichael's job security along with that? But then if you're just actually interested in non-drama topics, I want to see what they're doing with Alontae Taylor and Caden Ellis and Trevor Penning, and how much work they're going to give those guys and what it means for roles next year, especially in the places where they got 3 guys competing for 2 jobs.
Yeah, the cornerback one is probably my highlight the rest of the way. I want to see if Alontae Taylor can win a job on the outside and he isn't necessarily relegated to playing the slot next year. If he can be an outside cornerback, the positional value there is so much higher, and he looks like he has a real shot of being a real player there. The other guy for me, you hit on a bunch of them. I want to see what Eno Benjamin does. I think there's a huge need there at running back. He obviously has some off-the-field issues, getting cut twice this season with the talent that he has. But they do need somebody in the pipeline behind Alvin Kamara, especially because he's most likely going to be suspended for some amount of time next year. So if he can play, that checks one need off at least. I think you probably still need another running back. That might be a veteran, though. If Benjamin gives you some hope as that young guy that can come in and really do some things.
The Eagles getting C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Maybe they get him on his best behavior now.
And last one. Caden Ellis is out there. Pete Werner's out there. Demario Davis is out there. What do you do at linebacker?
Yeah, I mean, I try to play all 3 of them. This team, more than probably most teams in the NFL, if not all, there were some years where they were playing more 5+ defensive backs than any other team in the league. That has been a staple of Dennis Allen's defenses. But the 5th defensive back has been a question mark for this team all year. And now you've got 3 linebackers who've been 3 of the 5 best players on your whole defense all year. I think the first simple answer is play a lot more 3 linebackers, even if Caden Ellis is on the edge, especially against a team that ran really well against you last time in Atlanta. But easier said than done to just have 3 linebackers on the field all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's dictated by the personnel, but I do think in some of those looks where there's 2 tight ends, instead of putting another defensive back out there, you could put him in. The easiest answer here is I think it's probably some type of rotation, some third downs where you can play their package where they have 3 defensive linemen. You put Ellis on the edge as a blitzer, and you get him in there maybe instead of Pete Werner or Demario Davis on some of those plays, sort of like what they did last year with the cornerback rotation. But here's the thing. If this team was kind of bottoming out a little bit and trying to figure out what they're going to do for the future, I think you could probably try to find a way to make sure that Caden Ellis gets a lot of snaps so you really know for sure at the end of the season what it is. But this team just isn't going to take that approach the rest of the way. They're going to fight and try to win these games. So it'll be interesting to see how they use all of those players this week against Atlanta.